What's up, family? World War III. Yes, the Biden administration has just initiated war. And guys, we are potentially headed towards a dark path. The tension between multiple countries has been heating up for quite some time, and it appears that President Biden and his administration has just initiated the next war. Guys, starting off, the Biden administration has just announced that they will be providing some F-16 fighter jets in the battle against Russia, or should I say Vladimir Putin. Yes, guys, earlier last week, President Joe Biden told the G7 leaders while they were meeting in Japan that Washington supports joint efforts in this responsibility of training programs for the Ukrainian pilots on F-16 fighter jets, according to a senior U.S. official. Now, this is a significant endorsement as Kyiv, I believe that is the capital of Ukraine, they are seeking to boost up its air power against Russia. Now, training on the U.S.-made jets will take place in Europe and will require months to complete the training. The U.S. officials have estimated that most expeditious time needed for training and delivery of the F-16 fighter jets is around 18 months, which doesn't necessarily sound accurate because why are they telling us now if they're going to be providing these F-16 jets within the next 18 months or so? But the fact of the matter is they're going to be providing those right now, which means who is going to be using these F-16 fighter jets in the war against Russia between Ukraine. But anyways, guys, as the training continues to take place over the coming months, our coalition of countries participating in this effort will decide when to actually provide the jets and how many they will provide and who will provide them to Ukraine. Now, we did receive a message directly from the president of Ukraine, in which that is President Zelensky, in which he tweeted a message and said that, look, I welcome the historic decision of the United States as well as President Biden to support an international fighter jet coalition. This will greatly enhance our army in the sky against Russia. I count on discussing the practical implementations of this decision at the G7 summit in Hiroshima. So guys, what does this mean for the United States? Well, it pretty much means that we have just initiated ourselves into the next war, if you will, World War III. Guys, we have heard this plenty of times before directly from the Russian president, Vladimir Putin, in which he had already been stating in the past, as well as right now, that the United States is directly involved in the Ukrainian war against Russia. Guys, if you didn't believe this before, you definitely believe it now after the war has been pretty much going on for around 425 days or so, in which ever since this war actually started in February back in 2022, the United States has been providing military equipment, military ammunition, money, billions and billions of dollars for this particular war, trying to give what's needed for the Ukrainians to continue to defend their country against this unprovoked war. And according to Vladimir Putin, yes, guys, he said it before and he is definitely going to be saying it at this particular time, as the United States has just stated that they will be providing some F-16 fighter jets. Now, if you don't recall, prior to this particular initiation, Ukraine doesn't really have anything that they can pretty much fly in the air to fight against Russia other than some drones and such. But now, providing this particular military air power, this is going to give them a huge advantage to actually continue to defend their country, to push the Russians away from their country. Now, in regards to the United States supplying these particular F-16 fighter jets, we did hear a message or a notification directly from Russia in which they have warned the West taking colossal risk with the potential to supply these F-16 fighter jets to Ukraine. A day after President Biden approves of the training for Ukrainian pilots on these particular U.S.-made jets, Russia's deputy foreign minister accuses the Western countries of still adhering to the escalation scenario in this particular war. So anyways, guys, Russia is definitely aware of this information, and they are saying that the U.S., the Western states, Western countries are continuing to input their efforts into this particular war versus staying away from it altogether, which Vladimir Putin has pretty much threatened multiple countries, including the United States, that you are putting yourselves into a war that you shouldn't have, in which he might be provoked to use nuclear weapons against these specific Western countries. So anyways, guys, it does say right here that in any case, this will be taken into account in all of our plans, and we have all the necessary means to achieve the goals that we have set. And then again, like I said, on Friday, Joe Biden had announced that he will be supporting the training of the Ukrainian pilots to use these F-16 fighter jets. But anyways, guys, that is just the latest on the United States entering themselves into another war, which we have been here many, many times before, in which we just got out of a huge war that lasted for multiple years in Afghanistan. And here we are, guys, probably about to enter ourselves into another war. But anyways, guys, on the other flip side of this whole story in regards to the war against Ukraine and Russia, we do have some good information that we definitely want to talk about today. And that is because the Ukrainians are still making progress in this particular war. Recently, guys, Russia ended up firing about 30 cruise missiles into Ukraine at specific Ukrainian targets. And we just received word that Ukraine was actually able to shut down 29 of those 30 cruise missiles that was headed their direction. Guys, this is huge. This is very positive, considering that, like I told you before, that Ukraine does not have any air power. They are doing everything from the ground level. And to be able to shoot down these particular cruise missiles, that is huge. They are basically putting up a defense against Russia and their aggressive attack in Ukraine. So anyways, guys, we love to see positive information for those of you that do support the Ukrainians in this particular effort. If you do support Russia in this particular effort, you pretty much probably won't be watching this channel. But anyways, guys, like I said, in this particular issue in regards to these particular cruise missiles, one person was killed and two were actually wounded by the Russian missile that got through their defense mechanisms and struck an industrial building in the southern region of Odessa. So anyways, guys, like I said, to be able to fire 30 cruise missiles and only one person ended up losing their lives, that's huge, guys. That is huge progress for the Ukrainians as they continue to fight for their country, guys. You have got to give it up to them, guys. And also take the time and solicit your prayers to go ahead and send those prayers up to those individuals that live in Ukraine, especially those that live in Russia as well, guys. There have been a lot of people losing their lives. And guys, these individuals that are on the front line fighting for their respective country, their families are devastated, guys, because they lost someone in this particular unprovoked war. So I will solicit you to go ahead and take some time out to send up your prayers for all of those involved in this particular matter. And guys, we continue to keep them lifted up in our prayers in the meantime. But then also, guys, the other good news that I do want to share with you in regards to this unprovoked war, Russia, yes, guys, they ended up having we were talking about 4 specific aircraft. They ended up losing them, guys. And it pretty much happened in one day. That is a lot, considering, guys, I don't know if you know or not, but these specific aircrafts, guys, we are not talking about petty cash. We are talking about millions of dollars. In fact, one specific aircraft could cost anywhere between $2 and $5 million. So for Russia to be able to lose 4 of those in one day, guys, that is a huge blow to Russia. And guys, that is definitely a huge progress for the Ukrainians. It says right here that Russia's Air Force may have just suffered one of the worst days since the Ukrainian war began in 2022. Unconfirmed reports say that 4 of its aircraft were shot down with Russian territory in what would mark a significant coup for Ukraine. Now, there are conflicting accounts about how many planes and helicopters may have been brought down inside a Russian region, but one Russian media outlet says that at least 2 aircrafts, a Su-34 and a Su-35, and 2 Mi-8s helicopters actually crashed. They lost potentially 4 aircrafts. And like I said, guys, this could be a huge blow, pretty much totaling around $10 million. Can you imagine losing $10 million in one day? I can't imagine losing $100 in one day, let alone $10 million. But anyways, guys, we are talking about a ton of money right here, billions of dollars, as you've already seen how much the United States has provided to Ukrainians in regards to money, military equipment, military aid, and things like that. So this is definitely not a cheap war. It is a very expensive war, and we still don't know exactly when this war is going to end. But anyways, guys, it does look like the United States is getting closer to participating in the next war. We are talking about World War III. But anyways, guys, moving on, we also want to talk about some maybe promising news, because we have received word at different times back in December and as of recently, where we did hear some information in regards to Vladimir Putin talking about an end to the war. Could it be so? Here we are right now in the month of May, 5 months later, in comparison to this particular article that would happen back in December, in which Vladimir Putin says that Russia wants to end the war in Ukraine. Now, guys, just a little bit of side note, we can't necessarily believe anything that the Russian president has to say. However, we do want to take everything that he does say with a grain of salt, and that is because he is known to lie, and we see stories where he continues to lie. He is saying that he is retreating, and then 5 minutes later, he is attacking Ukraine. But anyways, guys, back in December of 2022, the President Putin said on Thursday that Russia wants to end the war in Ukraine, and that this would inevitably involve a diplomatic solution. Putin made the comments a day after President Biden hosted Ukrainian President Zelensky in the White House and promised him continued and support throughout this particular war. And Putin said in his statement that, look, our goal is not to spin this flywheel of military conflict, but on the contrary, to end this particular war. We will strive for an end to this, and the sooner the better. Of course, he said, and here we are. 5 to 6 months later, this war is continuing to go on. Now, again, like I said, we have to take everything that he says with a grain of salt, even when he does threaten the United States with nuclear weapons. However, we cannot forget exactly what he has done to the entire country of Ukraine, just pretty much demolishing it, guys. But anyways, guys, that was back in December of 2022. And here we are as of recently, guys. Putin just talked about it less than 30 days ago, in which he talked about an option to end this particular war. Now, that is all we heard at this particular time, and we have not seen any indications or actions in regards to ending the war, but it is something that Putin has stated. So it begs the question, what is he thinking about? What is going through his head right now? Does he actually realize that he is losing this war against Ukraine? Or is he blindsided and feels like he is making tremendous progress and that he will continue on because the war could be all over very soon, in which he will come out on top? We don't know what he is thinking, guys, but we can only go by the comments that are coming out of his mouth at that particular time. And like I said, guys, he has called for this before several times, and he is calling for it again, an end to the war. But what is his strategy? How is he going to end this war? Is he only calling for an end to the war because he expects Ukrainian to wave the right flag? Or is he saying that he is ready to retreat and go back to his respective place and end this war altogether so that everyone can live happily ever after? But anyways, guys, we really don't know as of yet. But hopefully, guys, like I said it before and I'll say it again, hopefully this war does not last any much longer, because the United States, other countries, and other countries as well, guys, continue to suffer because of the remnants of this particular war, this unprovoked war in Ukraine. And hopefully, guys, this will come to an end very soon. Now, as of today, guys, or yesterday, Zelensky actually showed up to the G7 meeting in Japan, in which, guys, he received immaculate praise in regards to how he is handling this particular war. And he pretty much spoke to the people that are there and called and thanked them for their support, especially the United States, for initiating this particular offering offering of the F-16 fighter jets, as well as the other military equipment, military money, and things like that. And he also thanked the other countries, but specifically noting that he actually called out China and called out their leaders, saying that they could actually do more from what they are doing right now, but they continue to want to stand back and do nothing, considering that Russia is their particular friend in this particular matter. So anyways, guys, it looks like majority of people are actually in support of Ukraine and Zelensky leading his team in efforts to defend his country. And definitely, guys, we'll just have to see exactly what turns out from this particular G7 meeting in Hiroshima. So anyways, guys, let me know what you think about this. Comment down below. Do you feel like we are going to war this year, or do you think that it will happen sometime next year? Comment down below and let me know what you think, guys. But other than that, guys, I hope all this information in this video was helpful to you today. Well, anyways, guys, hey, that's all we have for you today, but feel free to check out some of the items down below in the description. There are a few ways for you to be able to support this channel, totally free to you, but you can get some free money, some free cash deposited into your bank account, such as signing up for a Webull account, which is a brokerage, and they are going to be giving out 12 free stocks that could be worth up to $3,000. And all you have to do is sign up and deposit at least 1 penny. But anyways, guys, that is just to name one of them, but there are some other options as well down below. But anyways, if you enjoyed today's content and you want to see more, go ahead, subscribe to the channel. It's totally free. And if you like today's video, then go ahead and hit the like button for us. It really helps out this channel, as well as it tells YouTube to share this video with others. But anyways, hey, I appreciate you guys stopping by and watching, and I hope to see you on the next video. Peace.